What I did to set up an area here in my garage is I wasn't sure. I've got shelvings and stuff here in the garage, but I really didn't want to use the shelving that I've got. I just wanted these things kind of out of the way to where I could just come out here and easily work in the area where my worms are going to be. So what I've done is, when we bought the house, they had a lot of this pegboard stuff just sitting around. So I just took 2 pieces of the pegboard that I had remaining that I took off the walls. I put 2 sawhorses, 2 old sawhorses down here on the ground, and an old ladder. Okay? Just an old ladder that I'm not using because it's unsafe to be up on it in the first place. I've got better ladder that I'll use to hang lights or whatever I need to do up on the roof. So I just put that ladder down. I put just 2 pieces of this wood down just to hold the weight of the worms. And then these worm buckets. And it's plenty stable for the worms that I'm going to be raising here in the garage. So I'm going to be taking up maybe a 4 foot by 3 foot space here in the garage. And it's out of the way to give me a place to put my potting soil down beneath and keep that stored. I probably won't be needing any more potting soil for quite some time because it's going to take, from my understanding, around 3 months for the worms to compost the bins of what I'm going to be filling up here. I've got 2,000 European earthworms that are going to be delivered, as I said, hopefully today, if not today, tomorrow. So I'll continue this video at that time. But what I'm going to start off with is I'm going to start off with 2 of these Rubbermaid buckets. Okay? And I'm going to see how the worms do in 2. I'm not going to split them into 3. I'm going to put about 1,000 worms in each one of these buckets and learn on how much they eat, how much room they really need, if it's a good, healthy environment for them, because I don't want to, do it wrong and then lose all my worms at the first few weeks of doing this. A lot of people I see online, they drill holes in the bottom of their Rubbermaids or their totes or whatever they're keeping their worms in to make the worm castings, and then they'll put like a block, a couple blocks down inside of a bottom bucket that has no holes in it. They'll put this on top and it'll be holding those buckets apart to where if you're having too much excessive water, the water will drain down to the bottom, into the bottom bucket, and you won't drown your worms, because worms will drown. They cannot be in oversaturated soil. They will drown. That's why whenever it rains, you'll see the worms come up to the surface on the ground and end up all over your driveway or anywhere else that you don't want them to be. I've elected not to do that. I'm going to keep a very close eye on the moisture content of these, and I will also be going through the worms quite often. And I'm going to try to keep a video of when I'm doing that, what I'm doing, and how I'm checking those worms to make sure that they are growing properly. They're healthy, happy little worms in there, okay? So I've got my stand all set up. I've got an area to keep my extra peat moss down below, so I can use that as needed if it comes in wintertime and they've already turned all of that peat moss and the paper products, all that, into good soil for me. I'm going to be able to sift that out. I'll be able to build some new ones real quick, put them together, and we'll just go from there. The extra peat moss that I have, I'm just going to store it in the same bucket. I'm going to take the lid off, let that dry back out, and let the moisture content dry, go back to a nice dry consistency. So right now we've got this all taken care of. We've got, as I said, I've got the leaves ready. I've got the cardboard ready. I've got the paper shreddings ready. And what I'm going to be feeding these worms, let me grab that for you real quick. is two different products. Okay, this is Quaker Oats that I just picked up yesterday at our local Sam's outlet store. There's 2 large bags in here. I'll be putting some of this on top of the worms, and then I'll also be feeding them cornmeal. Okay, so just cornmeal mix, and they, from what I've understood from most of the people that are doing this online, this is a product they really like. There is a product that you can purchase that's called Purina Worm Chow. It's a little bit costly. It's not readily available to where I'm at right here. I can't find it locally. I have to order it online, and I personally feel that this is going to work just as well for me right now. We'll see what happens. I may have to switch over to Purina Worm Chow, but we're going to go this way right now and see if we have all the nutrients they need and we get good quality worm castings when we're done. So right now I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to hang out until hopefully the worms come. We'll spread those out. We'll see how Uncle Jim's worms arrive, what kind of condition they're in, and then we'll get everything set up and how we're going to be doing this. Once we get the worms into the buckets, the earthworms do not like light whatsoever. So we're going to watch those things go into the ground. We're going to go ahead and get the paper shreddings on there, some food in there for them, cover them up, and we're going to leave the light on for 1 to 2 days just to make sure the worms know that their new home is down inside that dirt, because if we just leave the lights off, there's a good chance we'll have a lot of them wanting to escape. They're in a new environment, they're in a new home, so we don't want them to venture out because they will die once they get onto the ground. They'll just dry out because there is no moisture content there. So I'm going to stop the video now. I hear my little dogs, friends that live next door, wanting to come over and grab the bones, so I'm going to go ahead and take care of those guys, and we'll be back with you and start the next little session once the worms arrive, okay? You have a great day. Thank you.